How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Fraud on the Telly. In today's video, we'll be breaking down everything that happened on last night's episode of Critical Role, Campaign 3, Episode 28. An episode in which we got that crazy Matt Mercer death run, FCG becomes a freaking wheel, as well. Finally, there was the big Dusk reveal as Fearne goes to meet her parents, and Dusk shows her true intentions. As always, if you enjoyed the video or learned something new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Go check out some of our other Critical Role content, and let's just get right to it. The last time on Critical Role, the cast had agreed to enter into this crazy death run, a cross between Mario Kart and Mad Max. They're doing this in order to gain favor with the Paragon's call so they can get close to Armand so they can grab his ass. The episode starts just before the race does. The cast have a bunch of crazy last-minute ideas, apparently, as they decide to attach FCG to the front of this bike, essentially making FCG the front wheel. This is what D&D is all about, these crazy ideas executed in this fantasy world, thinking outside the box. I love this about the party and just the cast of Critical Role. They're wild, they're crazy, they're not afraid to do super outlandish things, even if it will get them into trouble. Let's talk about this crazy death run Mario Kart-esque race that went on. That essentially broke it up into 3 different sections. A section in the city, there's a section in a cavern, I believe, and then the climb, and a section going up the mountain back into the city. The idea is that each of the sections takes a number of turns. The driver and the rider can take actions on their turn throughout the turn cycle to affect the other drivers, as well as to drive fast. The drivers being able to use their bonus action to basically dash, to accelerate, make the vehicle go faster. I'm not gonna lie, the cast do surprisingly very well. I think they even took Matt by surprise a little bit, because they end up winning very handily. Laudna cast Bane on like a huge group of the contestants, giving them a massive advantage right off the start. As well, Imogen later on uses command to make 2 of the other racers break their cars, slowing them even farther back. Sam even embraces the whole Mario Kart theme, casting Spirit Guardians. The Spirit Guardians taking the form of turtle shells floating around their crawler bike. Orm and Dusk are lurking later on across the track. They eventually jump one of the other contestants taking their bike, so now the party has 3 bikes. They make their way through the cave section, dealing with the other contestants as well as the natural rocks falling around them. They are then attacked by this creature that I believe is homebrew that Matt calls a Kagarax. The party do really well, eventually escaping this cave and the monster, so they thought, until surprise, surprise, it comes back having climbed up the side of the cliff. I think Matt was really hoping to make this more of a struggle than it was, which he does, to be fair, as the creature eventually knocks Laudna unconscious, who happens to be driving one of the vehicles at the time. They manage to recover the vehicle, but no one can heal Laudna as FCG is attached to the front of the bike and he's unable to touch her or see her to cast any healing spells. However, eventually Dusk managed to jump over from her bike onto theirs, healing Laudna with a lay on hands, endearing herself further to the party, as we'll come to see. With Laudna safe and a couple of bumps along the road, they managed to win the race, gaining favor with the Paragon's call. They are then approached by Oton and Rotanish. Remember, Oton is the woman that is the leader of the Paragon's call, as well as she is the woman in Imogen's dream. Imogen obviously hides from her successfully, so we believe. She's afraid that she might recognize her, which, to be fair, I would be too if I was dreaming of this scary lady every night. Imogen later explains to Laudna who the woman is. Laudna then comes up with a theory that we've been saying for a while now, that this woman must be Ruidus-born, as well as all of the other people that appear behind her in Imogen's dream are also Ruidus-born in some way. They venture to believe that it's most likely Oton would recognize Imogen, as there seems to be some kind of connection there in their dream, which I would venture to believe as well. I'm very curious to see where this goes. We kind of have all of these backstory elements swirling all around at once, all of these stories just all interlacing with one another, along with their main story objective to capture Armand. It's just a lot, and I love it. I love the chaos that Matt sows. After the race, Laudna and Dusk talk for a second, Laudna apologizing for her awkwardness when Dusk asked her on the date in last episode. Conversation then drifts to Fearne's parents, Laudna asking, "Are you ready for the big day tomorrow?" Travis is right next to them, giving off these big sussy vibes, and we'll see exactly why in a few minutes. Imogen casts detect thoughts on Dusk while they're having this conversation. Though she's not able to glean anything, it's almost like there's a wall protecting Dusk's mind, this most likely being a ring of mind protection. Having won the Paragon's call's favor, the rest of the party all start getting drinks, going to a tavern. It's here where Chetney makes his move. Chetney pulls Dusk to the side and they begin having a conversation. Travis going full Sarah mode here. You see, Chetney basically calls Dusk on her bullshit, saying, look, if you're here to hunt the Callaways, I can help you. Obviously, Dusk denies this, even though we know that that's definitely what she's doing as the audience. Chetney just lays it out for her. He says, look, you have your picture, your target, you have this story, you can't remember anything, it's a little sus. It very much seems like you're being paid to hunt these people, so you might as well just tell me. Again, Dusk denies it, Chetney pushing even harder, straight up asking her, are you trying to kill the Callaways? She replies no, to which Travis responds in kind with an insight check. He wins the check, getting a player-to-player whisper. Now, we think we know what this whisper was, as we've been led to believe that she is trying to kill Fearne's parents as well as Fearne. But we don't actually know if this is technically a lie or not. It's possible she was sent to capture them or do something besides kill them, so she may not technically have been lying there, we just don't know. But what we do know is that Travis has got some sussy vibes on point, which we'll see why later on at the end of the episode. Now, I already know there's going to be potential claims of metagaming here, even though Travis addresses it later on in the episode, saying he just had this idea. What if Dusk was trying to hunt Fearne's parents because it just made sense? Personally, I don't think that Travis is the type of player to metagame, especially that blatantly. As we've said in the last episode breakdowns, we've seen Travis being a hella sus of Dusk and Fearne throughout this whole situation since they've arrived in the city. I think a little bit of Sarah might have been peeking through here, but Travis is a very smart player. I mean, we've seen this throughout all the memes and him playing Grog, just how good of a player he is, especially when he plays in a character that is intelligent or wise. As well as we'll come to find out, I was genuinely shocked that the whole cast actually didn't seem like they had been spoiled for this whole Dusk interaction the whole time. My guess is that Matt told them probably stay off Twitter or don't read your mentions until, you know, a certain episode. That would be my guess. The next day, the group gather outside of Imhar Joe's, the repair shop. Here they are greeted by, surprise, surprise, Fearne's parents who roll up on their own crawler. And here we get a very short and sweet union between Fearne and her parents. Fearne saying, it's been so long, I don't know how to ask. Parents responding, yes, it's been a long time. 6 years is a long time. Obviously, Fearne starts to go crazy here, thinking, wait a second, it's been only 6 years for her. But unfortunately, we don't get to find out what the heck's going on with that. It seems possibly my theory was right, that Fearne's grandmother may have been doing a little something weird with her memory. I'm not really sure. Someone's memory is messed up here, but I don't know exactly. Before they can understand all that, Dusk reveals her true form and her true intentions. I was actually right on this when I said the way that Erika plays Dusk is almost like a changeling in the way that she changes her face, because she actually is a changeling. Her form drops, revealing her true form, which is absolutely wild. I can't even begin to describe it the way that Erika does it, so just go watch the freaking scene. Dusk in her changing form reaches forward, grabbing both of Fearne's parents. Birdie looking to her daughter, saying, no, you led them right to us. As our episode ends. An actually crazy way to end the episode. Not at all what I thought we were getting. I thought it was going to be the whole entire race through the episode. I'm so happy that they finished with this cliffhanger, because this is the story that I was very curious to see how it was going to play out. Like we said, the cast reaction here was so genuine. It does seem like none of them were spoiled at all. I mean, just take a look at Ashley's face. To be fair, we knew that Ashley wasn't going to be spoiled. Ashley always buys into this stuff hook, line, and sinker. That's why she gives us the best reactions. This whole scene and just all of these interactions with Dusk trying to play the party just gives me these big werewolf vibes. But I guess you kids would know it better as Among Us. I love the whole manipulation, the secrets, just everything. It was just so freaking good. The big reveal at the end. Who is Dusk? Who is this creature, this character? And what do they want with Fearne's parents? Obviously, it seems like Fearne's parents know exactly what they want, because it seems like they've possibly been hiding from these people, and that's probably why they left the Feywild to begin with. I'm not a big D&D combat guy, specifically with 5e, as a lot of times it can just become a slugfest and be kind of boring. But I love what Matt does when he gets these certain scenarios. He's done this in other campaigns before, battles on skyships, battles across ships, and here we get a race scene with these cool motorcycles, which is essentially an extended combat, if you will. And yeah, it just played really well. It felt smooth. It felt like it didn't drag too long, even though it was, I guess, 2/3 of the episode. But it had stakes. It felt real. The only thing that I would say that I would critique is it seemed like the cast were just too prepared, and maybe Matt didn't make the race hard enough. But hey, who cares? At the end of the day, the cast made good decisions. They played their characters in D&D very well. And that's all you can do. All you can do as a DM is present a unique challenge to your players, and hopefully they can figure it out, and you don't kill them all in the process. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen next episode, as the episode just ends on this cliffhanger, and it's very unlikely that Dusk is going to want to fight the party all by herself in that scenario, as I don't think that she would win that unless you're telling me she's like secretly level 15 or something, which we don't think she is. From what we know, she's level 8. So there's no way that she could possibly win this in a fight. So her goal seems to be to, I would guess, plane shift these two to another place, possibly Dimension Door, something along those lines. Let me know your thoughts and predictions in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode? Did you enjoy the race sequence done by Matt? Did you think it was drawn out too long? I thought it may have been a bit too long, but you can't really control a lot of these things, and especially with Matt Mercer and stuff like this, which is, you know, very much homebrewed. I can't say that I could have come up with something nearly as good as this or that ran as smoothly as this, so I'll definitely be stealing this in the future for my own games. And let me know what you thought of the huge Dusk reveal. I love the genuine reaction from the cast. I can't talk about that enough. It's been so fun watching Erika snake her way through the dynamics of the party, trying to manipulate them against each other. Now we finally get this big reveal. This is not at all how I thought it was gonna go, and I don't think this is at all how maybe Erika or Dusk thought it was gonna go, as it seemed like she really wanted to try to isolate these people away from the rest of the party, but we're here now, so very curious to see what's gonna happen next episode. Can't wait. As always, if you enjoyed the video or learned something new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out our last video, my personal top 5 guests in all of Critical Role and their player characters. As always, guys, I hope to see you in the next video. Stay safe out there, and as always, peace, love, adieu.